And so, beloved masters, greetings on this evening, and a beauteous Valentine's Day to all, as love is pouring into this planet in greater proportions than humanity has known in such a very long time. In fact, the Aquarian moon that occurs tomorrow night, the new moon, the only actual lunar aspect in the month of February, is all about an influx of greater energy that brings vision, understanding and appreciation of relationships, not only intimate relationships with another, but the most intimate relationship of all, the one with yourself. Love is absolutely the most powerful of all of the virtues. And yet, dearly beloved masters, it takes tremendous courage to love. The love that humanity has experienced for such a very long time has been about an idea of romance that can be very powerful and quite wondrous in the beginning, but if the two that would come together in a romantic relationship are not in touch with themselves, in tune with who they are, soon the romance, the necessity to make a good impression in the beginning, begins to wear away, and all the old control games from lifetimes of survival on the planet began to move in, and what was called love seems to have gone out the window. But when you feel the connection within yourself of love truly, it brings a sense of enlightenment, not only an idea of light, but a feeling of lightness in your physical body, clarity in your emotions and your mind, and real love gives a sense of illumination in the center of your being that, no, you don't see it with your physical eyes, but you do recognize it with the inner eyes. The eyes that the Master Book speaks of when it says, see without eyes. And so, love enlightens, it illuminates, it gives a sense of belonging. You are not alone, and you will never be alone again. You can be with yourself, but that isn't loneliness. The idea of being so alone that no one is there, no one cares, that, dearly beloved masters, has been a haunting situation that so much of humanity has experienced for so long. And so, to understand that it takes courage to allow love to make itself aware. You've got it, it's in you, but it is the courage to open that door, to look within yourself, to feel the empowerment of that love. Courage is not just the ability to fight a battle. Courage, dearly beloved masters, is the ability to live your life well, moment by moment, day by day, and we could add, no matter what. Because the logical, practical mind can engage in drama so quickly that when things happen, very often the energy is escalated to the point that people involved in the situation lose touch with themselves, being caught up in the fear, the passion, the anger, the injustice, the judgments of drama. Virtually every day you turn on the news, you open your computer, you pick up a newspaper, and the headlines are of some disaster. Another shooting, another assassination of someone's character, another sexual assault, another war blossoming somewhere on the planet. And the ego mind will feed the drama, and in fear and anger and judgment, people will think within themselves or even shout out loud, but what can I do about it? Have the courage to live the love. And the mind that has been indoctrinated for lifetimes to go to war over anything, to argue about everything, to debate, to express opinions, to fight, even when there's nothing to fight about. The mind will say, well, that's a lame solution. And yet, masters, feel into your soul center, the solar plexus, the area between the heart chakra and the splenic chakra that is devoted to the recognition of your own personal spiritual awareness. That is an area that registers enlightenment. Not only the light that you can see within yourself, but the beauty, the delight, the joy, the protection, the fulfillment of being connected to love. But because of lifetimes of psychological programming that love is a weakness, and yes, you can love, but when it comes to the bottom line, I have to do this all by myself because I can't count on others, I can't trust others, I can't believe in others. And all of those judgments come from a fear to trust self. So having the courage to feel within yourself, not think about, not look for a solution, not even to sit and ponder ideologies and theories, but to honestly, courageously, energetically come home to yourself. To look for that shimmer within yourself. It may be a silvery light or a golden light, but it is, even if it's pinks and blues and greens, it is that internal array of rainbow colors that love presents, the promise of a new becoming, the feeling of personal power that comes when you are loved, when you are secure, when you feel safe and protected, and as you connect into yourself, it takes courage to trust that what you're discovering is real and not too good to be true. The awakening, the homecoming, it's energetically being available to yourself. It isn't a doing energy. And we say these things over and over because the programming that humanity has received throughout lifetimes has been about separation. It has been about achieving what you desire through conflict. It has been about control. And as the Aquarian age is pouring the energy of love without any condition into the essence of the earth, everyone on the planet is literally being saturated with love. It surrounds you. it indwells you. The ego mind says, what if I don't want it? This is not about like and dislike. This is about, shall we call it a contract that you made, to live your life engaged in this experiment of separation that has gone on for such a long time, because one of the most important elements was learning how to live physical. Unfortunately, the finite mind has found many ways to separate the intellect from the divine essence that brought all of creation into being. So, lifetimes of programming that you are unworthy, that you are undeserved, that you have little or no value, that you are here only to be servants. And I assure you, dearly beloved masters, there is a vast difference, 180 degrees, between making the choice in love to serve and being forced to be a servant. To serve in love. The Master Jesus went among the people, all people. He washed the feet of his disciples, his apostles. He nurtured and attended to lepers. He, you might say by modern terminology, hung out with all kinds of people. He was a master carpenter. And in these times, that is seen as possibly a less than noble occupation. And yet a master carpenter is an artist par excellence. He counseled with fishermen. He spoke with women. And he was very clear, straightforward, honest. He lived the virtues. And it was an elegant life. The mind, when the word elegant is mentioned, says silk and satin and fine china and fragile crystal and white linen. But it is an elegant life, is a life that is filled with the pleasure of loving what you create and creating what you love. And it takes courage to connect within yourself with the power of divine love so that you can feel it live it, experience it. And as you have the courage to connect with the love, it is as though doors open within you, and there is a revelation of all manner of ancient, not old, ancient wisdom, a reservoir of connection to all that each soul was granted in the beginning of all creation. The wisdom of the ages. And so much of that wisdom is about self-empowerment. It is about looking, feeling, experiencing from the Lord God of your being the truth of who you are. And so much of the programming of the illusion has been, you don't want to know who you are. Because if you discover who you are, it can be a terrible, embarrassing, frightening, disgusting thing. And a lot of human beings would really prefer not to acknowledge that they are. And yet here you are on the earth by a soul's choice, in a time when remembering that you are a divine, creative master, a gift that you were granted in the very beginning. A gift that is filled with, supported by, designed in love. And it is to discover all of that reservoir of wisdom, the mysteries, the magic, things that have been relegated to mythology, closed away, taught that they are fearful, they are only of darkness. And it is, beloved masters, everything in creation is designed in balance. Not in perfect balance as scales that don't move, but in a harmonious flow of all the elements, fire, air, earth, water, and spirit, of the natural aspects of life, as well as the technical aspects of life, the masculine and the feminine, God, Goddess, all that is. All of creation has balance. So, as you have the courage to seek within yourself energetically And it may be visual. It certainly can be emotional, but emotions are the lower octave of feeling. And the more that you love and you align with the love, as the eye is single, I see God, it is the more that you become aware that living your mastery, you're not actually seeking to find your mastery. You are being called to remember that you are masters. And that requires courage, because if you are going to live the master that you are, it's a power that has absolutely nothing to do with power over anyone else. It is a power within yourself that has nothing to do with dominance and control. It has to do with the strength of an oak that runs its roots deep into the earth mother and lifts its branches high into the sky to connect with the elements of light and air. The willow, that is so amazingly flexible. The elements of the fire, the air, the earth, the water, and things of nature, to feel those things as you take a walk, to see a tree, and you may feel led to walk over and touch it. But it isn't just the physical touch. It is opening yourself to hear without ears the voice of the tree that has stories to tell about every ring that is in the bowl of that tree. It is to feel the power of the sap rising in the spring or descending in the autumn. Feel it. Feel it in your body. It may actually feel like a physical experience. It's energetic. But when the body, the mind, and the emotions are blended with spirit, you begin to become magnificently aware of elements of your mastery that you have discounted, dismissed, discredited, disbelieved, because the logical, practical mind wants proof. And there are religions that will actually teach the followers never ask God for proof. And yet, in the pages of the Master Book, there are words that indicate God says, prove me. How do you prove God? You watch a sunrise. You see a sunset. You plant a garden. You look into the eyes of an infant. You hold your lover. You experience the jubilation of any kind of celebration. And you have the courage to open your heart and allow your soul to assist you to experience the involvement in life.